Hi guys, this is gsnhome.com and I'm here with the Motorola Moto G6 Play for a full review. We actually played the whole triplet, the G6, the G6 Plus and the G6 Play. We unboxed them all, we reviewed the G6 Plus and we did a hands-on for all the phones at the end of May when they debuted. Now it's review time for the most affordable of the trio, the Motorola Moto G6 Play. So it debuted at the end of the spring and it's priced at only $199. Has a pretty nifty looking back, interesting fingerprint scanner. It's available in gold and black with some blue tints, and it's a cute big battery phone with a clean Android OS. Now design wise, you'll be hard pressed to find out if this is actually a sort of a polymeric glass or typical glass. To me it looks very much like the Galaxy S7 back. It's black but it catches some blue hints. I love the integration of the fingerprint scanner here. I love the lines of the camera, so Motorola is doing something good with this phone. So supposedly glass at the back, actually some polymer, metal frame, glass at the front, and the thickness is a bit big, 9.1 millimeters. The weight is 180 grams, which is similar to the Huawei P20 Pro one, but they're both justified by the huge 4000 mAh battery. So we got a solid build, pretty good grip, and the buttons also respond nicely to my press. I wouldn't say it's the comfiest phone in the world if you're going for one-hand usage, but it's just okay pretty much, and nice standouts at the back side. Display wise, it's a 5.7-inch IPS LCD with a 1440 over 720 pixel resolution and something called Max Vision. It's basically the format that's already familiar, 18:9. We also have a sort of glance-like feature which you already saw a bunch of times. You put the phone on the table and you will see some info and the hour and the time when you pick it up like this. It's a glance-like feature, or the ambient display. We have big-ish bezels, and if you're going to watch some videos, we actually have our typical one for you. But wait, I don't want to get those annoying bezels, so I'm going to use this one. Okay, so first things first, the color feel a bit washed out. That's my impression. They're not as vivid as you'd expect. Brightness is decent, contrast is so-so, and the view angles are pretty wide. So expected more vivid colors. Thank God we have an option for that. Now we go back here and we put this screen under the microscope, and this is what came out. This is the pixel arrangement of the RGB stripes variety. We also did a brightness test, achieving a top level of 439 lux units, which is superior to the Motorola Moto X4, HTC U11 and the Huawei Y7 Prime 2018, but it's below the Motorola Moto G4 and the Huawei P9 Lite 2018. Huawei P9 Lite 2017. Now if you're gunning for the settings for the screen, we got brightness level, adaptive brightness, some color modes. We got warm, neutral or cool. There is also standard or vibrant if you want more vibrant colors, and actually I'm not feeling it. Even with the vibrant colors, they're still a bit cold. Sleep, font size and display size. Overall a pretty decent screen, although the colors need a bit more kick. Now as far as the rest of the hardware is concerned, we're getting here a familiar CPU. Is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 430. We've seen it before, we've seen it on the Nokia 6 last year, and in USA the Snapdragon 430 is actually replaced by the Snapdragon 427 on this handset. Now other things worth mentioning here, aside from the Snapdragon 430, we have also 3 GB of RAM or 2 GB on some markets. We actually have the 3 GB RAM version, and 32 GB of storage, micro SD card slot, and luckily there was no trace of lag on this device. No matter what we did, what we downloaded, what we installed or updated, no trace of lag. It even runs Asphalt 9, or better said, it downloads it and installs it, but I would safely say that it can run Asphalt 9, which is actually not bad. And we also played Riptide Gp Renegade as usual. The loading is a bit on the long side. You can tell it's not exactly a heavy hitter, but still it's there. Let's see a race and let's start. Okay, skipping, here we go. Responds well to my commands. The water looks fine. I didn't sense any lag, I didn't sense any overheating, so as far as that is concerned, you can do a bit of gaming, which is satisfying because you also have that big battery. Pretty good frame rate, I don't see any skips. And we go to the benchmarks now, because we also did those, and let's see what came out of that experience. So benchmarks, here we go. First of all, we did Antutu, and this is Antutu 6. In Antutu 6, we are able to beat the Nokia 6, and the Xperia L1 and the Nokia 5, but we score below the LG Q6 and the Galaxy A6 2018. Also below the Motorola Moto G5, which has a similar, basically the same CPU. Antutu 7 is more interesting and more relevant. These are the results achieved in Antutu 7, and in this test we beat the Bluebo S3 and the Oreo V3 Viper, but we score below the Nokia 6. In this test it also scores below the Galaxy A6 2018, and we also did Geekbench 4. Let's see how that panned out. Here we have the results for Geekbench 4, multi-core, beats LG Q6, beats Xperia L1 and the Motorola Moto Z Play, scores below the Nokia 6 and the Huawei Mate 10 Lite. Finally, we also did some slingshot tests, for the graphics, and basically this phone is above the Motorola Moto M, Nokia 6 and Nokia 5, which is actually not bad, but scores below the Moto G6 and the LTV 1S. It's basically a modest performance in the range of the Nokia 6 and the Nokia 5, also close to Huawei Y7 Prime 2018. In spite of that, it performs better than the Y7 Prime in games. When it comes to the temperature, we actually have some pretty good results. There is no overheating. So we have 34.3 degrees Celsius in the game you saw before, Riptide. So once again, no overheating. And when running benchmarks, we took it up to 35.2 degrees Celsius. So once again, no trace of overheating. This feels like a mild battery phone on account of a 4000 mAh battery, which promises on paper up to 36 hours of usage. We also have a bundled 10-watt charger that juices up the phone via micro USB. Now, as far as the video playback test is concerned, we got an impressive 12 hours and 58 minutes. You can easily watch one whole season of Orange is the New Black, which has 13 episodes, about 55 minutes each episode. It's a very good result. It beats Galaxy S9 Plus, the Google Pixel 2 XL, scores below the Xperia XA2 though. Now, when it comes to continuous usage, another impressive result. It's actually the 14th placed phone ever we tested. 11 hours 27 minutes, beats the Allview P8 Energy Pro, which is a battery phone, and some other battery phones, also the Nokia 7 Plus. The charging is done in 2 hours, which I would say is acceptable. It's 3 minutes superior to the Huawei P20 Lite or the P10 Lite. And after 1 hour of charging, you're at 64%, so not bad. Now, if you're going into the settings, you'll be able to find some useful stuff. We got here the battery saver, adaptive brightness, and also battery optimization. Overall, the best aspect of the phone so far has been the battery. It's time to talk a bit about the acoustics. So, as usual for Motorola, the earpiece is the only way of getting music out of the phone, and the Google Play Music app is the only way of getting, well, access to music. We got a stock equalizer, and that's how it sounds like, the speaker. Okay, so that's the experience. I would say the bass is rather so-so, the volume is pretty decent. We have some nice highs, especially nice guitar rendition. There's no distortion, the back vibrates pretty strongly, and the tweaks are actually pretty nifty. You're playing with a Dolby here, and you can actually access it from the side. We go to the settings, equalizer, and here we are. This is Dolby. We got options like movie, music, game, voice or custom, intelligent equalizer, volume leveler, extra bass, custom area. There's also a special feature for dialogue enhancer and the surround virtualizer, so quite a few options to play with. Now we also did some tests which involve decibels. We're not afraid of the decibels, and we achieved 86.6 decibels. This was achieved at the front and the back of the phone with a typical acoustic sample. It beats the Motorola Moto E4 and the Galaxy A5 2017, scores below the Motorola Moto G5 Plus and the Galaxy A3 2017. The other test involves the game from before, Riptide, 97.7 decibels. I would say it's okay, actually quite good. Superior to the Google Pixel 2 XL, superior to the Huawei P10 and the Nokia 6, inferior to the Motorola Moto G5S Plus and the Huawei Y7 Prime 2018. For the price, it's okay. You're also getting FM radio here. It's about, let's see, it's here. And we do not have bundled headphones with this device. Now on the camera front, while the G6 and the G6 Plus have dual cameras, this one has a single back camera. It's a 13 megapixel shooter with face detection autofocus, f2.0 aperture and LED flash, while at the front there is an 8 megapixel shooter with its own LED flash. The camera interface is very straightforward and very typical, basically stock. These are the options that you're playing with. You got panorama and slow motion and a few tweaks here, quick capture, resolution, and just full HD capture, plus of course HDR. And now let's go straight into the gallery. Okay, so we go to the gallery. As usual, we have a ton of pictures, and I have to say they're actually not bad. The thing that got me the most was possibly the clarity and also not bad colors. The most shocking aspect about the phone is its capacity to zoom in. To be honest, ever since the Nokia 7 Plus and the Huawei P20 Pro, I haven't been as amazed by a zoom quality on any phone. We have here a bunch of shots. The selfies were underwhelming all the way, with or without glasses. The colors weren't vivid, which is something I also found about the screen. At least initially, the colors didn't seem to impress, but check this out. Regular pigeons, and then we start to zoom, and we zoomed a lot, and we didn't lose many details. Yes, I know there's a grain, but not as bad as you'd expect for a mere $199 phone. Some pretty solid close-ups, and the landscape shots also not bad with the details. I would call the colors cold one more time, and I have to say the dynamic range isn't great when you're shooting with a pretty strong sun outside. Some of the pictures were burnt, but not as bad as you'd expect. I mean, come on, this sky is totally unrealistic. Okay, now we get to more selfies. Here I'm not impressed by the fact that the background actually looks clearer than my face. I've seen that a lot of times this year. I don't know what's happening. I've seen it on the Xperia XA2, XA2 Ultra, and a few other phones. Why is the background clearer than my face? That's odd. Although I like the texture of the eyes, and I feel that's one aspect that has been caught spot on by the phone. And once again, the close-ups are one of the stronger suits. Now this one, you can easily tell someone it was taken with an iPhone 10. They would believe you, it's that good. So if you're patient, you can pull off something majestic and check out the details. Pretty impressive, right? And now we get to an area where the colors are actually pretty spot on, pretty well calibrated, and once again the zoom is crazy. So overall the selfies were the biggest letdown here, maybe also the dynamic range, but other than that I'm pretty impressed overall. I would have to say it's 20% superior to the Motorola Moto G5, and it beats the Huawei Mate 10 Lite. It's in the area of the LG Q6, maybe the Huawei Y7 Prime 2017 or a bit better, and approaching dangerously the Huawei P20 Lite. These are daytime shots. Let's go to the nighttime, and shockingly things are good yet again. So the captures are of course pretty dark, but the flash is quite efficient in making them a bit brighter. Street light halos are okay. The zoom is once again amazing. We have some darker than usual yellows, and things are surprisingly good. Yes, I know they're dark, I know the yellow is a bit weird at times, but the halos are okay, the clarity is okay, the zoom is fine. And I went back and looked at the gallery of the Nokia 6.1, and this is much better than Nokia 6.1. It's about on par with the Samsung Galaxy A6 2018, but with less purple in the images. I mean, come on, this is actually a good shot for a $199 phone. And now let's talk about videos. Now, as far as the videos are concerned, let's see what we've got here. So, of course, we filmed in full HD in MP4 format at 30 frames per second and 17 megapixel bitrate. Now, the result goes something like this. So, we have video number 1 here. And what I would like to say is that the zoom isn't as impressive as it was when it came to the photos. The exposure is a bit odd. Sometimes it fluctuates too fast, other times too slow. I'm generally happy with the clarity and the colors. Every once in a while there is a bit of a refocus, which is a bit annoying. At least it has the colors right. Okay, now we also did a bunch more videos in areas like this with a pretty powerful sun. Luckily, not much burn. The exposure change, as I said before, is a bit off at times. I would say it also has a decent electronic stabilization, and you just saw that annoying flicker caused by the fact it doesn't know to properly regulate the light. Now we also walked around a bit, tried out the electronic stabilization, and caught an area with finally more colors. Excellent colors, by the way, and in this video even the zoom was pretty decent. But the fluctuating exposure is a bit of a problem. We also use the front camera for a full HD video. Not the best in the world and also not the worst. For $199 is decent, but you will not become a vlogging star anytime soon. And also quick mention, there's a solid microphone in the mix. I would also have to say that this filming is basically above the Huawei Y7 Prime 2018, about on the level of maybe LG Q6 and the Xperia XA 4th generation or the Nokia 6. This is daytime. Now we go to the nighttime and we have this video here. Several things are happening. So decent street light halos in size, not bad colors, but also a slight bit of motion blur happening. Reasonable clarity, but the zoom is not very impressive. It feels on the level of a Huawei P9 Lite, for example. That's the vibe I'm getting here, or maybe a Samsung Galaxy A3, an older generation. Now we're done with the camera. Pretty satisfying, especially in the colors and zoom. And let's talk about other things, like for example the web browser. We got pre-installed Chrome here, and let's load up gsnhome.com. I have to say from the start we don't have excellent results in the SunSpider and other tests, but the actual loading time is okay. For input we got swipe and we got a stock keyboard, and I said before, the result in SunSpider, Jetstream or whatever other benchmark you want is not impressive. On the connectivity front, you already know several things. We got a micro USB port at the bottom. We also have an audio jack at the top, and there's 4G LTE, dual SIM slots, nano SIM, Wi-Fi A, BGN, there's Bluetooth 4.2, there is also GPS, GLONASS, BDS, and the calls were pretty loud and clear, if you ask me. Now other things we're mentioning, we did a speed test and the results were not exactly impressive. First of all, in Wi-Fi only 52 megapixel in download. I've seen much better than 52, 49 in upload, which is actually pretty fine. When it comes to the 4G, things are better, 83.6 megapixel in download and 44.8 in upload. This is where I would say things are okay. On the software front, no surprises. If you've seen the review of the Motorola Moto G6 Plus that we did, it's exactly the same experience. Google Feed on the left side, stock widgets right here, clean and clear Android, multitasking via carousel. You can also do the split screen thingy, split the screen in two. On one screen you can do this, on the other screen you can use Chrome, and that's only one example of how you're doing multitasking. Okay, other than that, let's see what else. You got a drop down section with notifications and quick settings, quick access to Dolby, and here we have standard options like sound, storage, security, user accessibility, apps and notifications. And security will let you mess around the fingerprint scanner, which is placed at the back, secure with a pin. Okay, done. Next, get ready, and you can put your finger here bunch of times. It's usually something between 8 and 15 times, closer to 10 or 12 this time. We did a setup, and now let's see just how efficient and fast it is. First of all, it's quite comfy, feels comfier than the lip one from the Moto G6 and G6 Plus. Now here we go. I would say reasonably fast, not the fastest in the world. I've seen much faster, but the accuracy is spot on. Pre-installed apps, there's about 25-26 of them. We got Dolby Audio, we got Drive, we got Duo, there's Files, FM radio, you know, basic stuff. But Moto also added the Moto app, which offers suggestions and also features. We got the Moto Key to authenticate into websites, we got the Moto Actions, which are basically gestures, and finally the Moto Display, which I mentioned before. It also includes night display and attentive display. Okay, that's about it, folks. Time for the verdict. Okay, so verdict time. This is an affordable phone for sure at $199. Everybody knows that. On the pro side, let's see what we're dealing with here. So this handset offers you a nice design. Still haven't figured out if this is actually glass or some sort of special plastic. It feels certainly like glass at times, but it's probably plastic, a very good one. So on the pro side, nice design, no lag in day-to-day usage, and also no overheating. It's a pretty comfy phone with a pretty bright screen, nice zooming in pictures and nice colors all around in photos and videos. Pretty great battery, which almost makes it a battery phone and even beats some battery phones, and a clear and clean OS with no fuss around it. Now those are the pros. On the cons side, because you also have cons obviously, we got lower frame rate than usual in some games. The screen is a bit washed out color wise. I wanted more vivid colors. The phone isn't exactly totally waterproof, it doesn't have stereo speakers, doesn't have an USB Type-C port, it only has a micro USB, and also the video exposure and refocusing are a bit annoying. In the end, if you want a phone for below $200, this is actually a more solid offering than I would say both the Moto G5 and the G4 before it, and also the lighter versions. Now this one here, the Play, actually has a more satisfying integration of the fingerprint scanner, I'll give it that much, and I would actually buy it over the Huawei Y7 Prime 2018. Maybe also it would rival neck to neck with the Huawei P9 Lite, but with a lesser camera, but also with a better battery. So if you're in doubt, you're trying to buy a Huawei, an Asus, or this one, keep in mind this one has a great battery, a clean software, and some pretty good zoom and colors. Otherwise, you can get a Zenfone Max, a phone from the Zenfone Max series, the Zenfone 4 Max maybe, or the latest one, Max Plus, you'll see, but this one isn't to be ignored for the stock software and the excellent battery. This has been the review of the Motorola Moto G6 Play here at gsnom.com. Bye bye.